The Protectors of the Wood Adventure Series, episode number 170, The Ancient Way. Wendy and Abby, holding the Mapstick, stood before the strange shelf, the jutting stone, what Abby called the chair for a giant.
Now, look underneath. See if it leads anywhere.
The space was fairly deep, but looked uncomfortable, with rough stones on the ground. And at the far left corner, the shelter seemed to open up into a sort of low closet, an area much deeper than the rest. Abby moved over in that direction and crawled under the rock. Immediately, the Mapstick began to shine, very faintly at first, but increasing as she moved into the darkness. Abby was thinking,
how far back does that go? This crawling is hard on the knees, but the light is incredible. The ceiling rises back here, and there's another 6 feet of space. But this is too claustrophobic. I would back out, but Wendy's right behind me.
The ceiling rose another couple of feet as they entered the small back room of this tiny house. Abby had space enough to sit against the wall and look around.
This would be useful in a storm, but too bad it's a beautiful day.
Wendy seemed to have no problem following Abby and moved into the back room and sat next to her.
Well, do you think it's too early for lunch?
I'm feeling pretty stupid sitting here. If we were children, we could have a secret hideout. I should have explored this when I was 10. What a brilliant spot for hide-and-go-seek.
I wonder what we're doing here.
Okay. I know what the game is. There's something here I'm not seeing.
If you say so.
Oh, stop it. This game is really starting to annoy me.
In frustration, Abby began closely examining the walls of this claustrophobic little room. In the back left corner, a very large and smooth egg-shaped stone stuck out from the wall. In fact, it didn't quite fit the part of the wall it covered. The light of the Mapstick revealed shadows along the edges.
That stone is actually freestanding. It's not part of the wall.
Abby set the Mapstick aside and put both hands on top of the stone and pulled. It rolled a few inches, revealing an empty hole about 2 feet square. She rolled the stone a bit further and then looked into the hole with the light of the Mapstick.
A narrow tunnel, about big enough for a medium-sized dog, and what might be a big space beyond it. Definitely interesting, but too small.
What a surprise!
You're laughing at me. You knew it was here all along, and I suppose you can crawl in there. You might be small enough, and I'll be right here to pull you out if you get stuck.
Oh, I see. You know the rules of the game. Follow the leader, it's called. But you're the leader for today. You can either go in or not. That's all I'm going to say.
Abby sighed, trying to control the panic attack growing inside her.
I'll have to try it. I'll never be able to live with myself if I back out. I'd rather die than back out.
Abby reached into the hole with the mapstick and pushed it ahead of her. It shone more brightly every moment. Abby followed and wriggled through the tiny hole, holding her arms ahead and moving like a snake. Her skinny form went through with unexpected ease. A moment later, Abby stood up in a spectacular hallway, so large that the light of her staff could not touch the far end. A walkway outlined in stone ran down the middle of the hall. The pale, curving walls on the right and left sides seemed far away. Dripping stalactites like icicles 6 and 7 feet long appeared near the edges, unexpectedly white in the light of the mapstick. Abby realized that the outline of the walkway was made of stalactites broken from the ceiling and laid end to end. Some clear surfaces on the curve of the walls and ceiling were adorned with artwork or writing in a deep red color. The walkway opened at intervals with paths running off to the right and left.
Oh my God, incredible. I'd love to stay and just see things, but I know Wendy has a plan. A destination that could be even more amazing than this. In fact, the final goal could be far off. Wendy has organized this as a one-day project. She hasn't planned a night underground, and the real goal could be hours away.
And so, Abby marched ahead, and Wendy followed, both without speaking. At the far end, the sides and the ceiling narrowed together into a bottleneck. Stalactites covered the small, final opening like a curtain, with the long icicles broken off near the middle to provide space for 2 people to walk close together. The setup of the hallway appeared to be designed for a procession of people marching 2 by 2, heading to some goal further underground.
This is like some sort of ancient ceremony of initiation, a special community and life-forming event. Okay, we're through. And into a long downhill stretch, into a smooth hallway free of obstructions. I feel like we're flying along straight ahead. The jewels and colors in the ceiling create incredible light.
At the end of the cavern, 2 paths open to the right and left. Following the model of the endlessly complex system of caves and tunnels in her mind, Abby knew that the passageway on the left was the designated route for the ancient procession, despite being the smaller of the 2. Making a quick comparison, she saw that the ground was hard-packed and smooth to the left. The right-hand path had loose stones and stalactites in the way.
But there's something interesting about the right-hand tunnel. And now, yes, I can hear it. The faint noises. The sound of muttering far away. It's the same eerie sound I heard coming in from Wendy's garden. It has a dreamlike feel, like I'm going to sleep. But let me try one more thing. I'll push the mapstick through the stalactites. The light shines down a winding tunnel that cuts off my vision eventually. I can't see the end, but now the rhyme comes back to me. When you go down under jutting stone, follow the trail alone. Very few have found the way from the stream of ghosts. back to open day.
Wendy turned to Abby and stared.
So, you do remember. Take the warning. That's not for you today. Maybe someday, but definitely not today.
But what is it?
For now, just take my word for it. You've got a full plate. Don't ruin it by adding more.
Abby stepped back and felt the mapstick pulling her toward the left. In relief, she walked quickly through the narrow opening.
Down under jutting stone, following the way alone. Very few have found a way from the stream of ghosts back to open day. A warning everyone should know. There is no safe way to go. The invisible door, I'll tell you true. It depends on what's inside of you. Look for the stone that's on the wall. If you're the one who hears the call, don't forget when the voices start. Take a look inside your heart. They come from the lake of broken hearts.
Trillions of living things are everywhere around. Our lives are all planted deep into the sacred ground. There's everything to love and everything to fear. It's planet Earth in the universe and nature lives here. It's planet Earth in the universe and nature lives here. It's planet Earth in the universe and nature lives here. It's planet Earth in the universe and nature lives here. And nature lives here.